Hey everyone, it's Tim Garvin at South Fork Country Club. I'm here with some special guests today, and we'll kind of go down the line. I'm here with Chris McDonald, Membership Chair, and on the Board of Directors, Tim Brenneman, Long Range Planning, Vice President of the club, President Alex Frank, who's back from California, and Alex Walter, our Greens Chair, ex-President or President Emeritus from last season. So we have some special things to talk about today, things that are going to be happening this season. I think in the last video we discussed that we would get back to you with some board information, and I'll turn it over to Tim Brennan.
Thank you, Tim, and hello everybody. Beautiful day out here in East Hampton, and we only need one or two of these before you start thinking about golf, so good time for us to get at it. We've done these videos in the past. This is going to be a little bit of a round table kind of conversation. We have a couple of topics specifically to go through today, and we'll all be participating as part of that. So to get started, kind of a coming out party of our new president here is Alex Frank. Alex assumed the role of president effective 2024. Really excited to have him raise his hand and look forward to his stewardship. We've gotten to know Alex really well here over the last several years as a board member, and I can tell you the club is in really good hands. So Alex, wondered if you had some comments you wanted to make to the membership.
I do, and thanks, Tim. I've got some prepared remarks. I'm going to try to hit on some of the things that we can go into in more detail. But I do want to say that I'm really eagerly looking forward to the new season here and thank the board for the opportunity to serve as president this year. And I want to thank my predecessors, John Grossman and Alex, for all their great work, and it really has been terrific. And they've handed over to me as president the club in great shape. And that starts with the club's financial position and capital fund, which has really never been stronger. The fund is more than adequate to cover all of our planned projects plus our reserve without relying on new member initiation fees. This capital position is very important because we are at our maximum capacity as imposed by the town and by our own density considerations. We have a very robust waiting list, both regular and legacy, but with attrition rates at their lowest levels ever, we currently have no new member openings for this season. Members clearly like the club and are voting with their feet for their continuing enjoyment of South Fork by not leaving. I know this waiting situation is frustrating for our regular and legacy applicants and their sponsor friends and families, but it is our new reality. We're excited about our talented management team returning this season, including some well-deserved promotions and expanded responsibilities. We also have some new faces we are looking forward to welcoming to the team. 2024 will also have some great new club enhancements we're going to talk more about, including new GPS-enabled carts, a food and beverage halfway house, and at the top of the list, the completion of our Gilhan's design back nine. So, Tim, with that, let's get into a little bit more detail.
Great, thank you. Chris McDonald, I'm going to come to you, and first thing, the members should know Chris has arguably the busiest job on the board. Very active committee. He runs our membership area, and as Alex just alluded to, we have some challenges now that's kind of a new normal for us, and wanted to get your perspectives on that.
Thank you, Tim. Hello, everybody. On behalf of the board and the membership committee, I'd like to first thank all of you members who are currently sponsoring applicants for the club. We have a healthy list, as Alex mentioned, of both non-legacy and legacy applicants, and we look forward to meeting these folks, and we want to thank you for sponsoring them. Please be patient. We are at capacity, but I urge you to bring your applicants to the club and as your guests, bring them down, play some golf, bring them to the restaurant, and introduce them to folks. That'll really help a lot in the process when we do have openings for new members.
Great, and Alex, Walter, we have some real issues relative to limits on membership, and it's related to parking, and you have a zoning background unlike any others here, so if you could comment on that.
Well, your zoning background is pretty good too, Tim. Yeah, I think the members that have been here for 30 years will remember back in the 90s when we decided to expand our 9-hole course to an 18-hole course. We obviously had to go to the town of East Hampton for site plan approval through the planning board. And as part of that approval, we have a limitation in memberships available to us. And it's based on a formula for parking, which we have not been able to change since then. And basically, the formula ended up giving us 424 memberships, not 424 players, but 424 memberships. Now that includes our regular members, our social members, non-resident members, and we have senior members, weekday members, but all that has to not exceed 424. So when Chris and Alex say we're up against the cap, that's what they're talking about. So that's nothing we can do unless we go back to the planning board and appeal to have that increased. But it's a function of parking, and I believe the formula is 1 parking space for every 2 memberships. And that's all delineated on the site plan, on the survey that says where those parking spots are. They're either the paved parking spaces out front of the clubhouse and out front of the maintenance buildings, and plus a good number of grass parking spaces. So that's the cap that we're up against as far as the town is concerned. The rest of it is, what's comfortable for us as far as being able to service tea times and restaurant reservations and things. But the thing that is the driver is the town permit that we were given in the middle to late 90s.
Yeah, so the cap is not new to us. What is new is the attrition rates that we typically have seen for many, many years have really slowed down. And it's kind of good news, bad news. The good news is that members want to stay. Bad news is we don't have the turnover that enables us to populate new member applicants in the way that we have previously been able to do it. And as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it feels like a new normal for us, because this has now been, we initially thought maybe it was COVID related, but what we're seeing now is it's a continuation. I actually think it's a good thing from the standpoint that our members are satisfied, they want to renew their memberships. The downside to it is those of us that have either a member in waiting or a legacy perhaps that we're anxious to get in, there's just no capacity for it right now. On that front, I think we would all ask the members to have patience and understanding. Chris's committee does a great job of vetting candidates. They know exactly who's on the list. They have a pecking order there. We get calls within the offices here to Courtney, to Tim Garvin, and sometimes members are dissatisfied with the response. There's really no other response that they can give. And so if you'd like to speak to any of us on the board, we'd be happy to talk about this issue, but we'd ask kindly that you not continue to pepper Courtney and Tim with those questions, because there's really no flexibility in that regard. So Any other comments on the topic of membership before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. Alex Walter, I'm going to come to you. As Alex Frank mentioned a couple of minutes ago, big news for us is finishing up the back nine renovations, and so what do you have for the membership here?
Well, what I have is, the good news is that Gil Hans's group is committed to be here this fall, starting shortly after the men's member guests, early to mid September, to finish the project. And by December, we'll have an 18-hole Gil Hans course. I know there's a lot of interest in how that's all going to work, and we have certain information, but what we don't know is this. We don't know how the 13th hole, the 11th green, and the 14th tee are going to be finalized by Gil Hans. What we do know is we're going to have a new 10th green, we're going to have a new 13th green, and we're going to have a new 11th green. So that's for sure. How it's all going to play out, depending on what Gil has in mind, and many times Gil's operation is that he makes some decisions at the site at the time of the construction. I think if you remember the construction for the 14th green and the 15th hole and that green and tee, Gil came out to take a look what the shapers had done, and he completely changed the 14th green. So he likes to get on site, take a look at what's been done, and if he feels that he needs to make a change, he will. So I think there'll be more information coming as far as how he's going to take care of that one area where, you know, there's a pond, there's a big tree, there's the 11th green. That whole area is going to take a lot of work on and ingenuity on Gil's part, but the fortunate part about that is his ingenuity is the best of any golf architect in the world. So whatever we end up with, it's going to be great, and we'll be done, and there'll be no more disruption to the membership after this year on a major scale that we've had, 3 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. And we have the original plans that he did, which have previously been published. We'll get those out there again just so the members can take a look at it. We're not going to be 100% certain
Yeah.
of exactly whether that's the way it will end up looking.
We have to be careful about what we put out as this is what it's going to be, because it's going to be subject to change.
I think it's exciting to have the #1 golf architect in the world committed to building the best 18 holes that he can on our property. And that's really what we're talking about.
We're pretty lucky.
Well, Gil has a soft spot for South Fork. We were one of his first projects way back when. A lot of the older members that were involved in that project should be thanked that they ended up with Gil, and that includes Larry Cantwell, who was the Greens chairman at that time, and we can thank the people that put the work in to have us have the other 9 holes, and the people who spent all the time here while the construction was being done. I can remember Larry in his waders basically walking around this course on a daily basis.
Just to reiterate one thing, if you watch the video when we interviewed Gil last year, one of the things that he said, which was striking to me, as all the golf courses that he's built, is that when he's completed here at South Fork, given the space and given the property size, this could be the greatest work that he's done. And that's high praise for all the work that he's done. So,
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And look, we've gotten nothing but positive reviews from the members for the holes he's already completed over there. So we have no question whatsoever that it will be tremendous enhancement to the current course, and as you said, Alex, it'll be great to finally be done with this.
One more thing, Tim? I think once we're done, once Gil is done, he's still going to be taking a look at the golf course in its entirety, especially the front nine, in either 25 or 2025, 2026. He's going to come back and take a look at the front nine now that it's been developed for over 25 years and see what tweaks he could make as far as placement of tees and that type of thing, maybe to give us some more yardage. But when he's done with the 18 holes, he's still not done with South Fork.
And Tim, optionality has become a big issue within golf in terms of having different tees, different par options available based on handicaps. Do you want to comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, so the flexibility within an individual golf course has become greatly popular. How the course is played, some courses are played the front nine one way, and then you turn around, you play it backwards the other way back. So within our course, we have a lot of flexibility as far as par, as far as tee placements, and just like we do have two separate pars for the women. The women's tees on some holes are behind the men's tees because it reflects a different par than the men. And there's a possibility that we could do that, but we're always looking at course flexibility to, increase the enjoyment for blue tee players, white tee players, people that move up into the golds. Just a little bit of plug about moving up in pace of play, but we do have a lot of flexibility to create some different courses, easier courses for the higher handicapper, and a real test of golf for lower handicaps.
That's great. And any sense of when opening day is going to be here at South Fork?
Yeah, we're gonna. The dining room's gonna open on the 19th of April. We will be in kind of middle of the month. We're gonna have like a little bit of a soft opening. The tee times, we won't need tee times till about that weekend on the 19th. So if you want to book tee times, they're available now. They'll be 7 days in advance. So on the 12th, which is a Friday, you can book for the following Friday. We will be here all that week prior, and we will have carts available that week, but you don't need to make a tee time.
Right. The only thing I can say about that is the pins will be in when the superintendent feels that the greens are going to be receptive and play well. So, we defer to our superintendent in most instances, almost all instances, to tell us when the course is going to be ready. And we hope, sometime in the first 2 weeks of April, we can get pins in, but that's superintendent's decision.
What about lessons, Tim? When are you guys gonna start?
We'll be the 19th. We'll be ready. Everything will be up on 4 tees. We did a little bit of an upgrade on the 4 tees for tee times, lessons. You can book all that through the app and the online. We're looking forward to a great year.
Great.
Well, great. Well, I think we covered the 2 main topics we had. Any other comments here? And if not, I think we'll say so long, and we look forward to seeing everybody here at South Fork in the very near future.
Right around the corner.
See you soon, everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.